Welcome to West Virginia Uncommonplace. My name is JR. Today I have a special guest with me. This person has to remain anonymous. I don't know what kind of name to give her, so I'm just going to call her, what am I going to call you? Stacy, you got a name?
Just call her Sally.
We're not going to call her Sally.
That's what you named the girls' doll.
Exactly. Silly Sally.
Alright, so since your name has to remain, you have to remain anonymous. We'll just do it very simple like this. All right, so you're on the show. You've been an avid listener. You listen like 3 times a month. Appreciate you. Is it about that much?
At least, if not more.
All right, yeah. I don't know when you listen. Some of them shows aren't good, so I don't listen to them either.
I do have brown eyes, though. Remember that?
Brown eyes? What do your brown eyes have to do with anything?
Have you never heard of what they say about people with brown eyes?
What do they say about people with brown eyes?
They're full of shit.
Oh, well, you stay full of shit. So, all right, so we'll bring you on. So, what's it like living in West Virginia? Because the reason that this is an important question is because a lot of people live in different parts of West Virginia. You live in the southern part of the state; it's really indigenous kind of country. Living up here, kind of like an Ohio type person, like. It's a different vibe. You're not the same people as the ghetto people in Charleston or anywhere else. So what's it like living in Northwest?
But I'm not a worthless nut like a Buckeye, and I can drive.
Okay, so what's it like living in northwestern West Virginia? Like, what do you...
I don't know. It's hick.
It's hick?
I think.
So what happens when you catch yourself in instances with urban, like when you go to like Louisville, Kentucky, or places that are not of the same norm? What's it like for you, like leaving West Virginia and going to Kentucky?
When I go with you and Stace, I get filtered.
Filtered? What do you mean filtered?
I just speak it like it is, and you guys don't like it. When we went to that, what was that, Waffle House?
We went to the Waffle House, everybody, and understand, her children are dark complected. They actually look like they could be my cousins. You kind of dark complected too.
Don't lie, they have a darker complexion than you.
Yeah, they're darker than me. So like we go to this restaurant and I don't remember all the details, but it was some extra stuff going on. Oh, do you remember the details?
Yes.
Or tell a story.
Well, we were in the restaurant waiting to get in line. Of course, I think it was wasn't it during the pandemic?
Yeah, during the pandemic.
Yeah. So, they had every other booth locked off, and everything. And we were there, we were waiting, and we chose to sit at the bar since there was 5 of us and we could sit together better than a booth. Well, then this booth, they still needed to clean it off, and they told this group to wait, to be able to sit down. And so while they're waiting, this pimp man and his thing came in, and they never thought nothing about anything, and they just went over there and sat straight in the booth while the table hadn't been cleaned off yet. I guess they felt they was waiting more, and I was spouting off how rude I thought that was and everything. And then here old French was telling me, and Stace too, he could have been packing. And then we went out to the parking lot. You can't say that stuff. I said, rude's rude, and I'll call it how I see it. And they're telling me I can't do that in areas like that. Well, there you go.
So my story's way different. We were inside of... My story is completely different. Like, we were inside was it the Waffle House or the...
It was a Waffle House.
Didn't we go to Denny's also?
But that was the Waffle House, remember?
Was Denny's a good experience? Was it not?
Y'all can hear me in the background. I'm going to put my 2 cents every now and then.
But Denny's was a good... We didn't have a bad time there.
No, but this was around the time right after the girl that had got shot by the cops down there, remember?
Yeah, it was after the Breonna Taylor thing, and we were in dead hard in the middle of Louisville. And I don't want to say like it was racial tension, because it wasn't even that. We were just in there eating. And me being light-skinned, and you being Mexican-white, we had to be kind of careful where we were at. Why are you looking at me funny? We had to make sure that we were safe. We were in a bad part of town.
Well, if it's your time to die, they're going to shoot you and you're going to go see God if you're right.
See, I'm more cautious with my life than that. I think I'm just a little bit more precious. So either way, we're in there, and I do remember what happened. You said something, it was something cynical, and I was just like, oh shit, she ain't got no filter, she ain't got no home training. And I
said they were being rude.
Yeah, but you said it really gangster, like you had this kind of, I don't know, what. Oh wow.
He'll cut that out.
Yeah, I'll edit that out. It's like this, you had this like, this extra something about your voice, and it was kind of like, just... I don't know.
Yeah, because I can't handle rudeness.
Right.
I mean, it just straight up, I'll call it.
So my understanding over the whole thing was that the other people that were waiting, they were waiting on more people, is the way that I took it. I didn't hear the waitress or whoever or anybody say that they were waiting on that table. And
They said, I'll get that table in just a second. Give me a moment.
and I missed that, must have missed that part at the time. But I was under the impression that the people that were in there were waiting on more people. So that's why I'm just kind of like, oh. And like the area that we were in, it was predominantly black people. Like, you know, we're the only family of white people with.
But I didn't care what color they were. Rude's
Right,
rude. I'll call
right.
it any way I see it.
Right. And it's just us being, I'm not going to say you're uncultured, but you're unfiltered, and not in a negative way.
Oh, I
Because
can't
don't,
be.
right, I don't want anybody to think it was in a negative way. And I know you didn't mean to say it negatively. I feel like,
Oh, snap.
no, I feel like if they would have heard you say it, they could have whipped something out. I know you. I know how you are, and I know that you weren't saying it to be mean or rude or nasty. I know that. But being an outsider, they're not going to know that. So that's why I was panicking. Because, like,
So the funny thing about this story, after this, you know, there was no issue. They just went about, we ate our breakfast, and we took a long selfie. The picture was so long. I still got it on my phone somewhere. But anyway, the reason for telling this story was that it was just the one time that was out of place. And then ever since then, like, we've gone to Charleston. Where are other places that we've been? Quite a few places, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and no other issues.
We
Even
like-
though you're a food critic, let's talk about that food critic. You are a. If the Red Robin doesn't make your food right,
The one in Texas around Fort Hood was delicious. The one back this way, where was we at? Louisville?
what was it, Louisville or Columbus?
Louisville, because that was the first one we went to.
Are you Louisville?
Yeah, well, it sucked.
Yeah, my fish was burnt. Like, one thing when we go out to eat, because we've eaten at tons of places. Like,
And Zaxby's there was not very good.
yeah, it was trash ass.
That was my first time at both of those locations, and I really enjoyed them both.
No.
No, but what it was.
Even my kids agreed. And what were they? This was probably, they were probably 12, and they was telling you, no, it doesn't compare.
They were like.
They were old. They were classic old. They were like, you know, old enough. Let's get them a worker.
They're 16 now.
Right,
So
but
this was a 3 years ago.
They were still old then. I mean, they could make decisions.
Right, but they told you it was awful too, compared
Yeah.
to the ones.
And then we ate at that one place in Charleston. Y'all liked it, and I didn't like it too well. That
Southern
soul food.
Southern
Yeah.
Soul or something like that.
It didn't last long afterwards.
I don't care. It was good. That meat was awesome.
No, I don't know. It was kind of out there.
No,
You
it wasn't.
have a very different taste in food.
Yeah, I can agree with it. But I'll say, like, what's the best place we've ever eaten together? Was it a random Mexican spot somewhere?
I don't know. We both like Mexican, even though I'm.
Yeah. I'll tell you one place that me and you ate there that I would love to go back to that I have not been to. And this is just a quick plug for it because it is in Parkersburg. The Philippine restaurant.
Oh yeah, right there on 7th Street.
Yeah, the
it's
Philippine
really
restaurant.
good.
That's where you guys went on your first date.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was actually nice. Like, we haven't been back.
they actually have food trucks that they go to the local fairs too and everything.
They did?
Yeah,
So have you been back since?
not well. Yeah, I've been back to the restaurant once, but I've ate at the food trucks also at different fairs that they're at. And I mean, it tastes the same. I mean, it's really good, and they're nice people too.
Because I know, like, I haven't had that kind of food again. The problem that I had was that the noodles taste like they had been cooked and then dried off and then put sauce on top of them again. So they were kind of like crunchy hard.
I thought they were good. I liked them. I did. I really liked them.
Okay. Now, digging into more stuff, you're one of the most opinionated people I know. Like, your opinion, nobody can move you a different way. If you feel a certain way about something, you're going to stick to it. Sound about right?
Yeah,
And it's your way or the highway because there's no other way than your way.
that's not true.
What day?
No, you can have your opinion and whatnot, and I'll let you have your opinion all day long. And you can state your opinion wherever I'm at, whether in my home or somebody else's home. I don't care, but you can have yours, but allow me to have mine, and don't try to crush my opinion because it doesn't agree with yours. You can have yours all day long because it's right for you, but that doesn't mean it's right for me. What's right for me is right for me, but may not be right for you, and I'm fine with that. But, you know, people like to attack me because I am strong in my convictions, and that's fine. But I am not going to give up my convictions just to appease somebody else because they've gotten butt hurt and they need a tube of preparation H. I'm not doing that.
Right, and I greatly appreciate that because people are way too sensitive now. Like they don't. That's one thing I've always liked about you. You got tough, thick skin like an ogre. I'm not saying you are an ogre, but just saying you have tough, thick skin like that. I didn't like the way you looked. You looked at something extra right there.
And that's why, I do have issues. Well, people have issues with me. I really don't have issues with them because, I still live my life how I need to. But they get upset with me because I don't conform or I don't sit back and do the politically correct sayings or whatnot. I just say how I feel and what I am. And it's not that I'm trying to be mean or rude or nasty. That's just me. And I don't care if somebody else is completely opposite of me. They can be. And I'm not going to get butt hurt because they don't share the same views I do. And I'm not going to make people apologize for who they are because it doesn't agree with me or my standards or how I feel about things. I mean, that's why you're you and I'm me. I mean, if we were all the same, damn, they'd all have to be like me then because I'm the right one.
Now let's get into a tough topic for you. And this is really something serious. Like I've noticed with you for the last 3.5 years, this has been tough on you. COVID-19 and the vaccination. What is your opinion of this whole fiasco? Now, I'm going to put a little filler in here so you can think about what you want to say. My concern was with this whole vaccine. Some people got it, some people didn't get it. The people that didn't get it and the people that did get it, we all got COVID at some portion or some fashion. So the vaccine didn't help, in my opinion. What's your thoughts on it?
The vaccine, I think it's a bunch of shit. I mean, no, I never agreed with it. I never believed in it or anything. But if you wanted to get it and let them poke you every other day, that's your choice. I don't care. But don't expect me to do what you do because I have my beliefs and I have my opinions and it's my body, my right. Just like everybody was saying, and yeah, this would be controversial too about Roe versus Wade. On Facebook, I had all these people, there at first about the vaccine, and whatnot. They were saying, oh, you need to get the vaccine. You need to get the vaccine because you're going to kill people if you don't get it, blah, da, 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 and everything and whatnot. And then no sooner did that come out, than a little bit later, the Roe versus Wade thing came out. And then then those same people that were telling me that I have to do what they're saying I have to do everything. But then they're coming out with, it's a woman's body, it's her right. Well, what the hell? It was my body, my right for the COVID vaccine. So, you can't have it both ways. Allow people to make their own choices that's best for them, and they go from there just like you need to do for yourself, and everybody else. But my thing is if you want to get that shot, bend over and let them poke you all day long. I don't care. I'm not getting a shot, and I'm never going to get the shot. At one point with my job, we came right to the line that we almost had to get the shot or we wasn't going to have a job. Thank God Força stepped in that we did not have to do that because, yes, I was looking for another job and I could not go out and find a job making the type of money that I make at the current job that I have. So I was thankful for that. That got changed, that I did not have to get that shot. But if you want to get the shot, I don't care. You get her. But I wasn't getting her.
So what about a mask? What were your thoughts about wearing a mask?
Oh, that mask was dumber than shit. I mean, just dumber than hell. I mean, my point in fact is that there for the longest time, I went as long as I could at my job not wearing the mask because, yes, I did work through the whole pandemic because of the type of work that I do. And then we also had to have the plexiglass up and all this other stuff because I do customer service. But I actually had a lady come into the place of my establishment, and she did report me to the cops, even though I was behind my plexiglass with my mask on, but my mask fell down below my nose instead of above my nose. And because of other extenuating circumstances, she's upset because I would not do what she wanted me to do. But if she came in with a different attitude, it would have been a whole different situation. But since she came in like she did, well, I was digging my toes in. Well, after the whole situation passed, she went to the local cops, turned me in for my mask being below my nose and not over my nose. So the law did come and talk to me and say, hey, this is the proper way to wear a mask. We don't care if it's an onion sack that you cover your face with, as long as it's above the nose and it's covering your nose and your mouth. And I thought, okay, I'll keep that in mind. So I did. Eventually, the mask mandate got released on us and everything. But then 3 months later at my work, they implement it again. And I thought, bullshit with this, because I don't believe in it. I went to my aunt and I went and got that sheer lace material, because remember the cop said, don't care if it's an onion sack. So I went and had her to make me multiple masks with this sheer lace material. And that's what I wore for the mask for the rest of my time. The public that I deal with, they thought it was really, really funny. I did too, because yeah, it was a laughing thing. But my thing is, people would ask me, does that work? And so I'd like them and say, does yours work? Because my thing is you take care of you, I'll take care of me. And if you're so worried about something, then maybe you should just stay home. And that's fine, you know. I mean, to each their own. I know Stacy kept herself quarantined quite a bit through it because of issues that she deals with as far as health and stuff like that goes. And that's fine. But
it didn't stop me from getting it.
It didn't stop her from getting, as she just said. But my thing is that, you know, if you want to wear your mask, I mean, there's still people that wear their mask today. Happy for them, you know. I'll even donate them some if they want, and they're not even used. But my thing is that I don't believe in the mask. I don't believe in the COVID shot. But if you do you.
More power to you. Yeah, because that was my thing with the whole mask thing. Because, like, I've wore it in my type of work, I'm always around people. And I didn't get COVID until a filthy person passed it along to me when I wasn't being cautious.
Well, it wasn't that you weren't being cautious. It was the person that you were working with didn't know the person had it, and they brought it into us.
And then I honestly think that I had COVID-19 in 2019 in the early part before it came over and did it, whatever else it was. It was still the back.
It was tested.
Yes, it was still back COVID then. So I got through it pretty fast. Now moving on to other things.
Well, wait, I got one other thing.
Okay, go ahead.
The place that I work at, there was a person that, you know, she's all in up and everything. And I told her, you know, when people have to use a credit card machine, I told her she would have to punch the buttons on there. And she said, I've got to touch that. And I'm like, yeah, you do. And so she wrapped her finger up with a napkin. She got out of her purse and went and was punching the buttons. I said, okay, the total was a da-da-da-da-da and everything. So she was so damn worried about touching the buttons on my CDU unit. But God forbid, you know, that damn dirty ass cash, she didn't have a problem touching it in her purse, nor all of it that I made sure I fingered quite well when I handed it back to her. Cash is some of the dirtiest stuff you will ever touch. But she didn't have a problem touching that cash, but she didn't want to touch nothing else. Now that's just called plain stupid.
Yeah, sometimes you get that with people. People will, like, I don't even know how to spin this, but people will be silly, like, oh, I cleaned this with Microban, but I got this Apple Watch or whatever watch you got, and it's got dirt in the cracks, but I don't care. So yeah, I do get that. Now, moving on, so you get through the pandemic, you don't have to wear a mask anymore, and you see this new type of person, like when you go to Walmart, for instance, because that's our hub for everything, you see one with a mask, one without a mask, but you still see this like, and it bothers me to say, like, people really cough now. Like, I didn't pay attention to it a while ago, but now, like, I watch people, they cough and sputum and everything comes out. I was in Bob Evans with Stacy eating, and this old man, like, he should have just grabbed his stuff and just not coughed. Like, he should have just got up, went to the bathroom, coughed and stuff like that. That's the only thing that I see that's, like, not considerate now. People are more open to blow their nose and be nasty in public, even though we just went through all this stuff. If you don't believe it or not, the common courtesy of a cough, have you noticed that, like, in your workplace, like, people just randomly cough now? They're not trying to cover, they were worried about COVID, but not worried about COVID now.
I think the manners have left because they got so used to having the mask on and everything that they really didn't have to consider it then, and it's just went by, you know, by the way, because, you know, they went, 2 years?
Yeah.
Not having to worry about it. So now I think it's something that you're taught, and then when you don't have to, then you got to sort of reteach yourself to get back into, you know, showing manners and stuff like that as far as that goes.
Now, what do you think of, like, people...
Hold on. Can you hear that sound real bad in there?
Now, what are your thoughts now on people still getting the COVID-19 now, or flu as we call it, and not wearing masks or not caring about precautions anymore? Because I've ran around with my work and I've noticed that tons of people have COVID and just work through it.
That and a little bit
Yeah, they have to, mainly because the government ain't giving free money no more. Just set their asses at home and do nothing.
Right, that's the thing I noticed. Like, if you're a working person, you have to go to work in order to get a paycheck. Yet the government's still going to give the people that don't have a job a check because they're sitting at home doing nothing.
Yeah. I mean, you stop and look at all the money that they were given to sit with their asses at home, because of COVID,
Yeah.
And then now we can't get people back to work in a lot of places.
And I'll say that because you can agree with me probably on this. Hospitality in restaurants has died. Like 2018, even in the middle of 2019.
You need a break?
We still had good service, and now nobody wants to work. I've seen just in our city, like you look at the Southside Burger King closing.
Yeah.
Everything's closing and turning into a car wash because we have no service around here. Nobody wants to work. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't understand how they cannot afford to work because the COVID help money assistance, I think, has stopped now, so I'm not sure how they're living and everything, but I mean, like we went to a Burger King up next to the Grand Central Mall, and it did take a little while to get an order because there was not enough help in these establishments, regardless of whether you go just to a fast food or you go to a more higher end place. It takes longer to get your stuff or get waited on.
And I can tell you one thing, just from my own instance, the middle of Parkersburg, there's a Burger King near the skating rink. And that one actually kept its doors closed. Like, you couldn't come in and get food after 6 o'clock. Like, you can order through the drive-thru, and that's something that I've noticed, like, everywhere. Even Stacy and I, we were in Cleveland during the pandemic, and the Applebee's only had a bartender. What else? A bartender, 3 waiters, and one
waitress. You had the bartender, a waitress, and your seater person.
And that's all they had.
Sorry.
Waiting 2 hours for food.
Mm-hmm.
So since then, I've just learned to not like. If it's a mom and pop place, be careful if I go there. If it's something like Applebee's, I know they're going to have
chain.
They're going to have something good going on there. Well, other than that, I want to thank you for coming on the show, even though we have to remain anonymous. We'll have a name for you the next time we have you on. Thanks for going on the gamut of all kinds of stuff. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to, even though you can't name anybody? You can give a shout out. I don't care.
No.
Nobody.
We'll think about it the next time.
All right.
But yeah, I mean,
You can shout me out for being the best.
Stace?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just because she's related to me.
Well, other than that, I'm JR from West Virginia Uncommonplace, and we're signing off.